Hi, I'm Mark Breslin, and welcome to Dead Comics, live comics talking about dead ones. And my guests today are Brian Hatt, Shannon Laverty, and Clint Helmsworth, three excellent comics. And what we're going to be talking about is the fantastic Gilbert Gottfried. Here's a clip.
An old Jewish man walks into a church. He goes in the confession booth. He says, "Forgive me, Father, I have sinned. I was working in my tailor shop. A girl came in, couldn't have been more than 19 years old, blonde hair, great body. All of a sudden I started fucking her, and we're fucking, and we're sucking and fooling around for 3 hours." And the priest goes, you're Jewish. What are you telling me this? And he goes, "Telling you? I'm telling everybody."
So you could say that if every comic has its own voice, you can say that Gilbert Gottfried is a really obvious example of this. Nobody else in comedy sounds like Gilbert Gottfried, who is basically taking an old Jew from Brooklyn and amplifying it so that it's comedic. Does he talk that way when he's not on stage? Yeah, but not quite as much. He doesn't yell, but he's still got that same voice. I met Gilbert this way. I was the first person to ever book him outside of New York. And I had an assistant named Leatrice. And Leatrice went down to New York. She had excellent taste in comics. And she came back and she said, "You got to book this guy, Gilbert Gottfried." And I said, "Well, I like to see them first. No offense, Leatrice." She said, "If you don't think this is the funniest guy you've ever booked, you can fire me." All right. Somebody feels that strongly. So we booked him. It was the first time he'd been on a plane. It was the first time he'd ever been in a hotel. He would not leave the hotel unless someone came to get him and walk him to the club, which was maybe 6 to 8 blocks away, and it was beautiful summer that you could walk easily. When he was finished the show, he would have the person walk him right back to the hotel, and he never left the hotel room from what we know. That was my first exposure to Gilbert. Gilbert was great. He's like nobody else and fearless. And we love fearlessness in comedy. Brian?
Oh, absolutely. Again, another guy. Speaking of fearless, because being a little younger than Gilbert, not to brag, I didn't know his stand-up as well until The Aristocrats came out, which
Right.
was, if you didn't see, a wildly popular documentary about comedy, and his sort of section of it was, rebounding from that post 9/11 show where the vibe in, New York, every comedy club, it was just terrible. Nobody had really dealt with the trauma yet. Nobody could get a laugh. We're talking like, I think maybe a week, maybe two after the whole incident. And there's just that fabulous moment in the documentary where you can see him bombing, and then you just see the switch in him, and he decides, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to tell the filthiest fucking joke I can think of right now. This famous joke called, of course, The Aristocrats. And I found that so, and of course, if not to spoil, but it turned the whole show around. Maybe in its own small way, it was the spark that got comedy going again in New York City in 2001. Just the boldness, just the willingness to sacrifice yourself just to pop that balloon, suck the air out of the room, get things going again. And I respected that to no end. And then getting a chance to meet him when you brought him in here, I don't know what, 15 years ago, and then just discovering that he's just the sweetest old man. You know what I mean? Like we had this manager at the time, club manager Michelle. She was this tiny little girl from Alaska, big curls, bigger tits, and he was just on her side like a little puppy the whole time. Yet she would carry him around. I'm just like, he couldn't have been a nicer guy. Took pictures with me, and I literally had to pull him on stage. That's how sweet and frail he was.
Yes.
He's like, I'm going to reach for you. He's like, I don't want you to shake my hand. I want you to help me up the steps. And I was just like, of course I will. Like, you're amazing.
Shannon?
I never got to meet Gilbert once,
No.
and it's too bad. The Aristocrats is where, I fell in love with him, was through that movie. For sure, that's where it hit me. I don't really know if I'd seen his stand-up prior to that. And then, the the joke. I don't even know what the joke was that he made. I believe it was against 9/11 that lost him the Affleck, thing,
no, that
and
was the tsunami.
oh, it was the
Yeah, the
tsunami
Japan
joke.
It was the
by
tsunami joke.
Right.
the
Oh
real
my
estate agent
God.
joke.
It was so good.
They're a good school in the neighborhood. It'll be along shortly.
I know. It was so good.
Which is not a bad joke.
It's not a bad
Too
joke.
soon,
It was maybe too
maybe.
soon.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Very funny.
But I heard all the stories of all the comics that met him and worked with him, and I really had wanted to meet him, but I never got a chance to. But I would rewatch him through The Aristocrats like
I
3
know.
or 4 times.
It's the best thing on
It's
it.
the best thing on it.
Yeah.
The
Definitely
absolute
the
best thing on it.
It's the movie, really.
Yeah.
Clint.
Yeah, Gilbert Gottfried. Wow, just a brave guy doing crazy stuff. He didn't give a fuck, and yeah, he seemed like he was sweet off stage. Obviously, I didn't meet him, but yeah, seemed cool and brave. I watched that documentary, Gilbert, and showed his sweet side as well. He was performing at some cancer charity event and everything. And he's like, how am I going to go up there? And some guy's talking about his daughter's got leukemia and all this stuff. He's like, what am I going to say? And all this stuff. He gets up there, just does his jokes. Everyone's laughing. He's like, the best moment was seeing the guy with the leukemia daughter bursting, laughing, crying. He's like, this is comedy. This is the reason we do this edgy stuff. It's some cathartic sort of thing. So
That's a good point. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely good point. Was he big in Australia?
Only as in Aladdin.
Was Jafar?
No, the bird.
Iago.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Iago.
Right.
Famous Shakespeare character.
No, it's interesting that somebody like him had a pretty good cartoon career,
Yeah.
voiceover career, and then I wondered, well, why doesn't Emo Phillips have that? Is it just he doesn't have a good agent or whatever? But I thought that Gilbert kind of captured a certain part of that marketplace, and he was the guy. He was the go-to guy for a lot of cartoon voices.
Yeah, till the day he died, he was still working on video games and cartoons
Yeah,
and
that's
everything.
right.
Yeah.
Well, that movie did, like massive numbers all over. If you didn't know who he was before then, you certainly did afterwards.
It's true.
Billions.
Hollywood Squares. Come on, that was.
Oh my God!
He was great on Hollywood
We
Squares.
got banned from that, apparently.
I know.
Do you know the story?
Probably
Do you
after
know
the
why he was
tsunami
banned?
No, I don't.
Do we even need to know?
I think
I feel like
It
a
kind of just
I'm sure he
writes
said
itself,
something. Yeah, exactly.
doesn't
Yeah.
That's great.
So, what do you think that Gilbert's legacy is?
Again, and not to just harp on that one moment, but I think that that should be listed on his list of achievements. Again, just keeping the spirit alive in one of the darkest times in modern history. You know what I mean? But also, again, much like Joan, just holding that torch for people that don't want to be fit into a certain corporate cutout. You know what I mean? The comedy, if you want to do it on TV, you got to do it this way. Your hair has to look like you got to wear a nice shirt. Just keeping that torch burning for the rest of us. So that we can feel free to just say and do whatever we want on stage. It's part of the thing I love the most about this business. And he was doing what I think when I met him. I think he did his first set in the 60s or 50s, some absurdly early time.
No.
No.
It was 19,
Come on now.
probably
How old do you think he is?
1976 or
Yeah.
1977.
Which
He was
feels like a
very
50s.
young when he started. And did you know he was a contortionist?
What?
No, I
Come
didn't.
on.
He used to do stuff on stage. He's evidently double jointed in his shoulders and in his wrists. He would do these things on stage.
Probably what, was the problem with him later in life, too, because the whole muscular and all that stuff. I don't really know the exact...
Well, double jointedness does
Yeah.
have all kinds of things that come out of it. I have double jointed thumbs, as you can see.
Oh, look at that.
And
Bravo!
they've ruined my life.
Can't hold the mic at all. It just drops
Right.
out.
Well, I can't hitchhike very well. Shannon?
His legacy, I think, is just... I think it's so funny because people just view him so much as the cartoon characters rather than the person that he really was. And maybe he tried to push that forward more than who he was privately because, there's lots of things about him privately that a lot of people don't know or they might know or they've kind of heard. But I guess his legacy would be his cartoons and everything that he did there. But I don't know. I think his stand-up is so much more funnier than anything he ever did for cartoons.
Clint?
Yeah, I think Brian's right. The standing up for comedy, I feel like. Same with Joan Rivers. It was like, I know what's funny. Even if you don't like it, I know what's funny. It can be cathartic, it can be amazing. And yeah, the way he was cancelled with the, the tsunami tweets, he lost his Affleck job. And then the 9/11 thing before that, he was always pushing the boundaries when everyone else was too scared. And that's his legacy. There was a guy like that existed. And I don't know if anyone these days have the balls that Gilbert had.
Well, that's a good point, because, when we talk about his legacy, usually when we talk about a comic's legacy, it's a whole bunch of comics that want to be like that comic.
Yeah.
But I don't know anybody who says, I want to be like Gilbert Gottfried. Do you? I mean, he comes out of a different era, admittedly, with, people like Stephen Wright, and I put them all together as a kind of surrealist rat pack.
Yeah.
Emo Phillips, him.
Judy Tenuta.
Judy Tenuta, thank you. And who else? Emo. So there's nothing like that today that I can think of people doing this surreal one-liners.
Yeah.
Well, Mitch Hedberg kind of.
Mitch Hedberg did, but of course he'll be
another
no,
story
that's
of another dead
for another show.
Another dead comic.
Poor Mitch. But you're right. But Mitch was a bit later, remember?
Yes.
Mitch was about a decade later
Yeah.
than those others started in. But so when I was bringing him into Canada before he got so big that he didn't do clubs anymore, we put him in a club in Ottawa. And after the show, we all went to a speakeasy. And it was pretty crowded. And there was a bar with, stools. He sits down at a bar, and there's a dog that somebody had brought next to him. I was there, and he said so to the dog. Do you like to come here? Is this a good place for you? And he had this normal conversation with the dog. But that's not really the punchline of this. So I went and played the room and talked to people. I came back an hour later. He was still talking to the dog. He never broke character. He was still talking to the dog.
How about commit to the bit, eh?
That's right.
Commit to the bit.
Wow.
Anyway, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for
Ryan
having us.
Hatch, Shannon Laverty,
Thank you.
Clint Helmsworth. I'm Mark Breslin. This is Dead Comics, live comics talking about dead ones, and we'll be back with another episode.